This first part of the video is in loving memory of my grandma, Elsie Beachy. Grandma, we miss you so much. You left a big hole in our hearts. And it was the hardest goodbye I've ever said to you, knowing that the next time I see you, you are not here in spirit. It broke my heart when I talked to you and you couldn't speak back. It broke my heart seeing you laying there in the casket all alone and cold, to hear my grandpa crying over you. I've never heard my grandpa cry before. Just imagining the thought of losing someone that you loved for so long, to be so alone, to never eat one of the meals you cooked, to never get one of your big warm hugs again, to never hear you call me by your pet name for me, Lisbeth. Grandma, we miss you so much. And making this video has brought back all the emotions. We'll never stop missing you, but we also know that you're experiencing one of the greatest joys and happiness that a human can ever experience, and that is being in heaven with Jesus. You have run the great race, and you've got your reward, and we're so happy for you. Hey y'all, welcome back to the Chattery Corner. It has been a while since I posted something on my channel, but I do have a life update for you. Last November, my husband and I bought 12 acres in western Kentucky, and I had a lot of fun Pinteresting and figuring out the design for our little A-frame shack that we built. Well, my husband mostly built. I mostly sat there and watched. But I had a lot of fun designing it and having my hands in it a little bit. The first thing we did was make our mailbox and get our address, obviously, and then we started the process of clearing a spot for our A-frame, and that is what you're going to be watching now. I'm going to hop on in a little bit and do some voiceovers as the process goes on, but for now, just sit back, relax, and watch as he builds this little shack for us. Oh, I do want to say our A-frame as of currently is not finished, so what you see in this video is what's done, but I will be making another update video eventually showing the interior being finished. We do live off grid currently, so no running water and no electricity. Although we do have electricity, it's not based off of an electric plant. We run it off of solar and generators, so we are livable back in here, but we do not have running water, and that is something that's hard for me. I also don't currently have a kitchen. I have one butane burner, and between that and our grill, that is how we get our cooking done. So there's still a lot of stuff that needs to be done, and I'm excited to do an update eventually. We probably won't have the interior done until July, but that just gives me more content to upload then. I will cut in every once in a while to explain some things, but yeah. As you can see here, we are deeply stuck in the mud with spring came showers, and so we got creative and used the four-wheeler to take stuff back into the clearing. We are quite a bit off the road, and that makes for an interesting ride back in, and we're still battling with that, but having our culvert put in definitely makes a difference, and we can just park out front and walk back if need be. Thankfully, the hard part of the building is done, and we are moved in and living here, but just looking back over this video as I was editing it, it just cracks me up at all the stuff we went through and the steps back we had to take before we got things finished, but we're on the better side of it, and that's what matters. just a bit of an explanation. This is the clearing that's in front of our A-frame, and we got it nicely mowed now, and eventually you will see where I put in a little garden plot. But yeah, for now that's how it looks. And here's the culvert finally being put in, and my husband is clearing some of the mud so that we can eventually put a driveway in, but it's not in as of yet. And I did not record the whole putting on vapor barriers, so that's just how it'll have to be. And then my mom and dad and sister came to visit. That was really special. And things are just flying along at this point, and I don't have videos and pictures of everything, and it disappoints me because I thought I had taken more, but that's just how it is. Here's how the interior looks with just the side metal on, and I was so excited for when the metal went on and we moved in, which was kind of hot at first because we did not have insulation, but we do currently have insulation and are waiting for the drywall. So things are rolling along. We are doing things as we have money, and I just think that's the way to go, rather than getting a big old loan and having to pay that off yet in the end. So that is just our way of saving money during this whole process, and I'm absolutely loving it. Alright, here is a little tour of how it looked before the insulation. It's so quaint, it's so tiny, but it works for us. Eventually, he did build a wall in the middle of the house with a pocket barn door and a loft above, which you will see. Here I'm just showing you the freshly painted door and my two cute little puppies. And here's the insulation process. And then I had a friend come over and he plowed the garden for me. That was so exciting. I couldn't wait to get my hands into the dirt. As you can see here, it looks really nice. My friend Esther came. Hi Esther, if you're watching. Thank you so much for blessing my day and coming. We went and planted my garden together, just a couple rows, and I eventually went out and planted more. All right. In this clip, it might not make sense, but this is the solar eclipse that we got to experience here in Western Kentucky. There were some places that had totality. We didn't go completely dark, but it was pretty eerie for a minute there, but really interesting to experience. Yes, I had my very first yard sale. We decided to go into our storage unit that we were renting and get everything out and go through everything and just get rid of things that we either don't need or haven't used in the past 2 years, or that we simply can't fit anywhere to store. Because once we build our bigger house, we can just start over. I had so much fun doing this. We made $430, and I would call that a successful yard sale. I did do this with several of my friends, so it was a multi-family one, and it felt so good to leave the storage unit empty and not pay for that the next month. Then we went on and bought a dog kennel off of Marketplace, and that was a big investment for us as well. Alright, finally getting to the loft. I don't have a lot of pictures and videos of this. I thought I did, but I don't. But that's alright. Here is how the loft looks from the front. We are moving more stuff out, and eventually it'll have a little door up there to close it off. Here's the pocket door I was talking about with the barn door. And here he is measuring for a small bathroom we're putting in. Very small, but it works for us. It's just the two of us. Back there is where the shower goes. And then over on the other side here is where the toilet goes, and there will be some shelving there for storage. Alright, this might seem funny to y'all, but we live off-grid like I said before, and so we were going to a truck stop for our showers, and it was getting kind of pricey at $12 a shower, and so Aaron came up with the idea to build this cute little one. I think it's so cute. It's very off-grid and I'm loving it. I know some people might think it's bizarre, but I love it. And this shower head I got off of Temu. And yes, I'm a Temu geek. I love it. Temu, sponsor me if you want. But it works great for us. And here is a final look at the front of our house, and on to the next part of my update story. The first stop in our trip was my parents' house. We got there Friday at around lunchtime. My mom always asks me what I want to eat for supper, and I suggested chipotle bowls. So we made grilled chicken for that, as you can see. And then afterwards, we played a couple rounds of croquet. I love playing croquet, and I just thought it was so funny how quickly we got a game done. Because when we were children, it always took so long to get around the hoops, and as adults, obviously, it was a lot quicker. Anyway, and then after that, we hopped in the car and we headed up to northern Michigan, all the way to the tippy top to see my husband's family. This is one of the newer nephews, and he's so shy, but also so sweet. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to see family again. This is my little Jared, my little nephew. We have a lot of fun together. And then this is Lori. Hi, Lori, if you're watching. She loves her ponies, her horses, and she couldn't wait to show me the little babies that my sister-in-law just had, the baby ponies. And, of course, the rides that she gives. And then on Sunday, we don't attend the Amish church, so we took that day to have a date at this mini golf where we had one of our first dates about 7 years ago. And we had a lot of fun doing that as well. Nice catching.
Oh yeah, I got him still.
Jared! What? Careful, careful. Oh my goodness, Jared Elijah. What? On Monday, it was quite rainy, and Aaron's dad accidentally caught a owl in his foot trap. He was trying to catch something that was eating his chickens, and we did not expect it to be an owl. Since it was rainy, the guys helped Dad in the shop, and then afterwards we went to release the owl. And of course, before releasing, Aaron just had to take a picture with it. I think it's pretty cool. Just wait for the results.
I got you, already got you.
Why she don't get you through your chains?
Before heading home Wednesday morning, I went out to the rhubarb patch and took quite a bundle home, and then we made our long drive back. It felt so good to get home. Now on to the garden tour that I promised. I went out to my garden because I saw some of the plants seemed to be missing. My cucumbers were fine, but my green beans were absolutely demolished and replaced with weeds. I don't understand why rabbits don't eat weeds and leave my garden alone, but my potatoes looked fine. Then I looked down in dismay and saw that my Brussels sprouts were absolutely gone. I had one or two plants that were kind of fine, but the most of it was just chopped up in pieces. My cabbage, several of the bulb part were fine, but the plants were, again, demolished. I was so angry, but living out here in the woods, so be it. I got some fencing from my sister-in-law, and I'm going to be putting it around my garden since we don't really have a consistent electric supply to put an electric fence around. Here is what's left of my cabbage. Clearly it was chewed down, being as there was no leaves covering it anymore. The sun also burned it up and made it go moldy. Just so frustrating. Again, look at the weeds. They're all there, but the plants aren't. My peppers seem fine. They have little baby peppers on them. My jalapenos are nice and tall compared to my bell peppers, and they are loaded with peppers as well. So that's encouraging. At least something's turning out. As well as my tomatoes that had gotten frostbite. I had cut those back earlier this spring, and they grew back very viciously and are growing quite well, so don't give up on your frozen plants. It looks like I should be getting quite a good crop from my tomatoes, but I do need the fencing around that. My watermelon seemed fine. She's growing beautifully, but I was searching for my muskmelon. I could not find them anywhere, and then I noticed below some of the weeds that they had also gotten chewed off, and that just frustrates me. But again, we live in the woods. Wildlife was here before us, and it's just going to be man against animal for a while until we can get that switched around. This is our land now, and they're welcome to be here, but they can't eat my garden. So yeah, very disappointing. My corn seems fine. It got a little bit wet, so the bottom parts of the corn are a bit yellow, but they are growing slowly but surely, and I should get some off of that if I can keep the raccoons out anyway. So yeah, kind of disappointing. My garden did grow a lot, but there was a lot of damage done. I did think, since I planted so early, we live in Kentucky, since I planted so early, I could just go and pull out the chewed up plants and start over. I do have time. I planted this garden end of March, so I should have plenty of time before harvest. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thanks for tuning in, and stick around for more updates on the cabin.